Respect is one of the most misunderstood forces in human psychology. Many people believe respect can be demanded, enforced, or claimed through authority. They assume that if they insist strongly enough, if they raise their voice or remind others of their status, respect will follow. But when you observe human behavior closely, something very different emerges. The people who talk the most about respect are often the ones who receive the least of it. And the people who truly command respect rarely ask for it at all. This contradiction has puzzled observers of human behavior for centuries, because respect is not like obedience. Obedience can be forced. It can be obtained through pressure, hierarchy, or fear. But respect operates according to a completely different psychological mechanism. It cannot be extracted from others through demand. It must emerge naturally from perception. When someone repeatedly insists on being respected, the brain of the observer immediately detects something unusual. Genuine status rarely needs constant defense. Real authority rarely announces itself loudly. In fact, the need to constantly declare one's importance often signals the opposite. It suggests insecurity beneath the surface. The Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung described a similar dynamic when he explored how the human psyche constructs identity. Jung believed that when individuals feel uncertain about their internal sense of value, they often attempt to compensate externally. They try to reinforce their identity through recognition, validation, or submission from others. But this strategy rarely works in the long run, because people are highly sensitive to signals of psychological stability. And instability is difficult to hide. Imagine a workplace where one manager constantly reminds employees of their authority. They emphasize their title in every conversation. They interrupt others frequently and interpret disagreement as disrespect. At first glance, this behavior may appear dominant, but over time, something subtle begins to happen. Employees comply with instructions, but they stop offering genuine engagement. Conversations become cautious. Creativity disappears. The manager still receives obedience, but the respect they were seeking never arrives. This happens because the human mind distinguishes instinctively between authority that is imposed and authority that is earned. Imposed authority relies on hierarchy and control. Earned authority emerges from competence, composure, and consistency. When people sense the second type of authority, respect appears naturally without being requested. The irony is that individuals who constantly demand respect are often reacting to a deeper internal conflict. On the surface, they appear confident, even aggressive. But underneath this behavior, there is frequently an unresolved insecurity about their own value. The demand for respect becomes a psychological shield designed to protect a fragile self-image. Jung observed that the psyche often projects its own uncertainty onto the external world. Instead of confronting internal doubt, the individual interprets neutral behavior from others as a threat to their identity. A simple disagreement becomes an insult. Silence becomes disapproval. And gradually the person begins fighting battles that exist mostly in their own perception. This creates a cycle that slowly erodes real influence. The more someone demands respect, the more others begin to question their legitimacy. Because confidence has a very specific signal. It does not rush to defend itself. It remains calm even when challenged. If you observe individuals who naturally command respect in social groups, you will notice a different pattern entirely. They rarely raise their voice to establish dominance. They do not constantly remind others of their achievements or position. In fact, they often appear surprisingly quiet compared to those who seek attention. Their authority comes from something more subtle. It comes from consistency between words and actions. When they speak, their statements tend to be clear and precise. When they make commitments, they follow through. When conflict appears, they respond with emotional control rather than impulsive reaction. These behaviors create a signal of reliability that the human brain quickly recognizes. Over time, others begin adjusting their behavior in response. Conversations become more attentive when this person speaks. Disagreements remain respectful. Their opinions carry weight even when they are not the highest-ranking individual in the room. Respect has emerged organically because people perceive stability. But there is an important psychological lesson hidden in this dynamic. Respect is not primarily a social achievement. It is a psychological side effect of internal structure. When someone has developed a stable sense of identity, they do not need constant reassurance from others. Their decisions are guided by internal values rather than external approval. Because of this, they remain composed in situations where others become defensive or reactive. This composure signals strength to the social environment, and strength in psychological terms is deeply attractive to the human mind. Throughout human evolution, groups relied on individuals who could maintain clarity under pressure. Those individuals became natural centers of influence. Even today, the brain continues responding to these signals automatically. This is why respect cannot be manufactured through force. The moment someone tries to impose respect, the illusion collapses. People may comply with their demands, but internally they withdraw the admiration that defines genuine respect. Paradoxically, the most reliable way to gain respect is to stop chasing it altogether. Focus instead on developing the qualities that generate it naturally. Competence in your work, emotional stability in conflict, integrity between what you say and what you do. These qualities create a quiet gravitational pull in social environments. Others begin orienting themselves around the person who demonstrates them. Not because they were instructed to, but because the human mind instinctively trusts stability. And once this dynamic begins, respect becomes self-reinforcing. Each calm response during conflict strengthens the perception of authority. Each fulfilled promise increases credibility. Over time, the individual no longer needs to think about respect at all. It simply becomes part of the atmosphere surrounding them. The tragedy is that many people spend their lives trying to force respect from the outside while neglecting the internal structure that actually produces it. They fight endlessly for recognition that cannot be demanded. But those who understand the deeper psychology eventually realize something important. Respect is not a prize to be chased. It is a reflection of who you become. And when someone builds that internal structure carefully over time, something remarkable happens. They no longer need to convince anyone of their value. The room already knows. Stay sharp,